effect has an uptake of over 80%. And there are success stories in the country now of people or farms or organizations that have benefited from that facility. The objective of the facility itself was to support importation of agricultural inputs such as fertilizers, machinery, etc., and the production of agriculture and production of food within Leone. And this has scored a high mark. So, following that, and coming now to the topic under discussion, the central bank actually intends to introduce policies that will encourage commercial banks to lend to agricultural sector while managing climate-related risks. That's one policy that we intend to, or regulatory policy that we intend to implement. You know, the central bank has moved away from, has moved away more or less, but then we are like blending social, environmental, and economic developmental issues with our traditional monetary policy and financial stability issues. In the bank, we have in existence what we call a regulatory sandbox. The regulatory sandbox performs the function of provides the testing facility for new products that are being introduced in the market. We will habituate the regulatory sandbox for a period of 6 months to 1 year, and we test your resilience within the regulatory sandbox. And once you graduate based on our assessments, we will grant you license to go out there and access the market full blown. So what we also do in this case, we will encourage new financial products such as climate index insurance and innovative agricultural lending to be tested safely within the sandbox. And once they become mature, we will definitely allow them to roll out in the market and compete with other players. I will stop here for now while we are waiting for further questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Governor. Yeah, indeed, the fact that you are thinking of ensuring climate indexed insurance is being introduced shows that there is an alignment with FITSARO. Dr. FITSARO is very much interested in that, and we've already introduced a product within the system. So this shows that, as the President had said, and the Minister of Agriculture frequently refers to, this is a whole of government approach. So there is no silo anywhere. We are all working together. And I thank you very much for confirming that. Let's now move on to, again, let's move from the side. Let's go to the World Bank. Alitunji, the World Bank has supported numerous agricultural finance interventions globally, often blending public and private capital. How can Sierra Leone leverage instruments such as guarantees, concessional loans, or results-based financing to de-risk the agricultural bank's lending portfolio and crowding private sector for climate-smart agriculture? Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. I will talk about two issues that have been put on for discussion today. The first one, what kind of investments is the bank interested in supporting the objective laid out around climate resilience and the establishment of agricultural power? The bank has been in business for years, And that comes with experiences in all of these issues. I'm very sure the moderator will be interested in banks coming to say that, okay, for the takeoff of the agricultural bank, we'd like to put so million on the land. The good news is that the World Bank built on government priorities. And once we show the road, we try to follow as much as possible. We have tried all sorts of innovative ideas around agricultural financing in the past years. In my little years in the bank, I witnessed this when we gave out money through the commercial banks for on-lending to our farmers. We saw the weakness as there with such decision. And as we now move into this new era of setting up an agricultural bank for a purpose to deal with some of the weaknesses as there with trying to get the commercial bank to support farmers directly. So, what did we see? First, when you look at the way the unit that is supposed to administer those agricultural loans at the commercial banks, they have very lean staff because there are many other competing, more rewarding ventures that they need to deal with. So sometimes they don't do it as a form of social outreach. So you don't expect commercial bank to put their resources where the money is not coming. Number two, the kind of capacity that you staff such department is also missing. More importantly, the farmers that are supposed to be served, are they ready for any loan? Even if you give it at 1%, you must build a business case at the farmer's end. And that is why the bank decided to focus attention at getting the farmers ready for the loan, even if it's at 1%. If you don't fix the value chain, the farmer will not wake up and go and take any loan. That will be suicidal. So we spend a lot in fixing the value chain. Either cassava, the rice we talk about, the trade crops we talk about. We must fix all the problems. And what are the problems? We start from the inputs. Get the right inputs. And when we drive this, the research system must get out the right type of inputs that will give the kind of return that will enable farmers to go to the farm and be proud that they are going to get something to be able to pay back whatever money, however cheap. The extension, we also support extension heavily to be able to reach out. We have tried all sorts of innovative ideas around extension. The bank has supported the e-extension system. And we are still working on this to make sure that it serves the purpose. The bank also helps to manage risk associated with all our cultural businesses. I'm happy that AFDB and the IFAD, they are on this panel. In the rural space, you find IFAD doing a great job. I'm happy that Pascaline is here. I'm very sure she'll be able to update us what has happened with that. So when we look at all the weaknesses, we want to see in the new agricultural bank that we are addressing all these weaknesses. And one thing should come out clearly. There will never be a time that you will be able to assure your financier that they are the 100% recovery. What has been the percentage recovery even when we are dealing with commercial bank, with the best intention of government? So all of these are issues that we must deal with. And once we clean up the environment, definitely you will get the support of your donor community. That's why we want to partner with you. We want to work with you to clean the system. And once we clean the system, the resources will flow. I will stop here, as I think I still have a point to add one or two.
Thank you very much. We'll see if you have an opportunity. But thank you very much, Tunji. Let me come back to research. Dr. Norman, we noticed that some 2 weeks ago, Slary charmed the president with your performance at the Leone Rice Research Station. Please charm us today by letting us know which climate smart technologies and agronomic packages you have ready to scale now in the next 12 to 24 months, and how can the agricultural bank tailor credit, input financing, and insurance to align with Slary's evidence and de-risk adoption by women and youth-led agricultural enterprises. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure to be here to participate in this third dialogue program of a climate resilience and energy transition. I'm here also representing Abbas, the DG of Slary, who could not make it up here today because of very busy or other very busy official schedules, but is here in spirit, and I'm sure I will speak very good things on his behalf. Good morning to all participants. As we know, Sierra Leone Agricultural Research Institute is a national agricultural research institute charged with a mandate to carry research, conduct research on various crops, livestock and trade crops, value chains. We do our research along various thematic areas. We generate innovative technologies. We do promote them, of course. Also, we do market research. And we do this along the various actors that are along the value chains. Now, in the recent past, 30 elite varieties of 3 commodity value chains we have released in Renewable, and of which, of course, like my colleague said, 8 of them were cassava varieties, elite cassava varieties, and one of which was named the Maga cassava, which is more or less to recognize and honor the efforts of our president in pushing the food security as well as nutrition security agenda for the country. Again, we had elite varieties of rice released, and some of them are tolerant to even multiple stresses, and some of them not only tolerant to iron toxicity, but even also flooding, because as the climate variability has set in, there are some ecologies that of course face the issue of iron toxicity. But then flooding is also an issue even in such ecologies. So we now have rice varieties that tolerate both stresses, both abiotic stresses. But I'm talking here both the iron toxicity as well as the flooding toxicity. Then also another flooding. We also have rice varieties that are not just grown in the IPS situation, but also in the bully land. So in other words, in one of both ecologies, such varieties can thrive very well. Of the varieties also released, we have cassava varieties that are tolerant to even drought. that they have stay green attribute. And we know that for us in Sierra Leone, we do not just grow cassava for the storage root yield, but also even the leaf yield. So we have cassava varieties that can serve such a purpose, and also even for flour as well as starch yields. So it was a very great moment even for us to have honor to have the president to really officially release these varieties. But aside crop varieties as a technology, we also do develop agronomic packages that accompany even these varieties, so that we can have increased yield as well as productivity. Now, when we look at the agronomic packages, of course, of recent, we had a number of farmers, extension offices and all that. We are trained on good agronomic practices, that we are trained digitalization, digital tools that can aid efficient delivery of such technologies. I think even the farmers we are trained on that, in terms of the rate of the agrochemical. What I'm talking here now is the herbicide or pesticide that they can use to efficiently apply even on crops, and then also the herbicides in terms of killing the weeds and then efficiently developing the land that can be weed-free. Because it's not just the good quality seed, but also good site selection, preparation of that site, good management practices. They are very, very key, in enhancing those things. Now, also, for those varieties, we have the semi-autotrophic hydroponic system, for instance. I mean, a novel technology that enhances the rapid multiplication of even vegetative crops, such as cassava, sweet potato, yams, etc. So for the cassava subsector, for instance, in Jala, the Jala Agricultural Research Center in Jala, they have this technology really established there, and lots of players have been there, they have seen that one. And the starting material often is various indexed materials. And then it has really advanced to really bring things to the farms for their adoption by using even mini sets or microsector stems, in generating these materials for the rapid multiplication and dissemination of even this technology. Now, for the event that took place there in Rokoporo, just I think 3 days, we had another meeting. It was a meeting of training 8 elite farmers that are actually into cassava production. So these ones we are trained on how to rapidly multiply foundation seeds. So they are like the first set of beneficiaries of even the cassava varieties that we have released. All right. Thank you very much. I'll come on board and talk more.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed. Now let's go to a lady, Pascaline. IFA, of course, has been at the forefront of empowering smallholders, just as your colleague at the World Bank said, especially focusing on women and youth through inclusive rural finance and adaptation initiatives. How is IFA integrating community-based resilience approaches into its forthcoming future agricultural programs to enhance food security and livelihoods in rural regions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and greetings to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to participate in this important forum. IFAT is an international financial institution, but also a specialized UN agency, is supporting the government of Sierra Leone since a while. Our strategic document or program is fully aligned with the National Development Plan, but also defeats alone. And we have, for now, 3 key programs with about 250 million, supporting first the agricultural value chain development program, but also the rural finance program, and recently the livestock program. So for the agricultural value chain project, which about 100 million USD, it's like a climate-smart agriculture project. So many achievements was observed, and I can inform you that the government, the parliament, was always in a community, and they are so proud of the achievement of this project. For example, we reached about 53,000 beneficiaries. We developed about 3,600 hectares of climate resilience islands value swamp, what we call IDS in rice. We have established about 446 farmers' field schools just for the training of the small farmers on the agronomist practices and so on. And we established like 11,000 hectares of climate resilient tree crops in cocoa and oil palm. This is just the key achievement, but we secured also the land rights for the 4,000 women farmers. So we can just develop the key achievement, but we see that in close collaboration with the government of Sierra Leone, especially the Ministry of Agriculture, I see the Honorable Minister here, and in close collaboration with
as a national development and climate priority. Today's session will focus on one of the most critical enablers for this transition, innovative finance. We cannot meet clean cooking targets without mobilizing the right mix of public, private, and climate finance. Across Africa, we've seen how well-designed results-based financing, concessional lending, and carbon market mechanisms can attract private sector investments and help local entrepreneurs scale solutions that reach last-mile communities. Sierra Leone can lead by example, leveraging its climate finance and energy innovation hub and its partnerships with the World Bank, the Africa Development Bank, and the OPEC Fund to crowd in more investment for clean fuels and technologies. These kinds of partnerships between governments, development institutions, and innovators are exactly what our next speakers represent, and we'll be hearing from each of them shortly. Together, all of our work embodies the collaborative spirit that this dialogue seeks to amplify and strengthen government, development partners, and the private sector working hand in hand to ensure that no household, school, or community is left behind in Sierra Leone's clean energy future. As we begin this discussion, let us keep one thing in mind. Clean cooking is not just about stoves or fuels. It's about dignity, health, opportunity, and climate justice. By mobilizing innovative finance and aligning our actions, we can help millions of Sierra Leoneans breathe cleaner air, save forests, and build more resilient livelihoods. I look forward to our discussion and to identifying the practical steps that will turn today's commitments into measurable impacts. And with that, I would like to invite our panelists to join me here on the stage. First, Carol Hannon, Head of Development and Deputy Head of Mission from the Irish Embassy. The Irish Embassy has been a steadfast supporter of inclusive climate action through the Ireland's Development Agency. Aminata Ori, Head of the Clean Cooking Delivery Unit, who is